And now get ready to smile again with radio's home folks, Vic and Sade. Written by Paul Reimer. Well, sir, it's late afternoon as our scene opens now. And here in the living room of the small house halfway up in the next block, we find Mrs. Victor Gook and Mr. Fletcher Rush. Our friends are seated side by side on the Davenport, conversing earnestly. Uncle Fletcher is saying,
Still more company, Sadie?
Well, maybe only a few days, maybe longer. We'll have to see.
You'll put him in Rush's room, I expect.
Yes.
Who is the lad?
Leland Richards.
Leland Richards. I know Leland. He's a good boy.
Yes, he is. Not so brash and loud-mouthed as most of Rush's chums. Seems to have a lot of common sense, too. Lots of young kids might have got all upset as a situation like this come up, but Leland took it calm as your necktie.
Leland's a good boy.
I had a long conversation with Vic on the telephone just before you come in. Told him the whole thing. He agreed right off the bat.
When's Leland coming over?
Well, I expect him to walk in any minute. He'll have supper and sleep here tonight.
Say, you got yourself a house full of company, Sadie.
Oh, one lady and one little boy don't sound like a house full of company.
Where's Spotty this afternoon?
She's down in the basement washing out a few things.
I expect Spotty is...
Dottie, Uncle Fletcher, Dottie. You appreciate her name is Dottie. I think you call her Spotty just to be obstinate.
She, say when she intends to go home yet?
No.
Been here over a week now.
Oh, Uncle Fletcher, what an old woman you're getting to be.
No, but it seems to me the half-wit woman ought to be...
I don't like expressions like that, Uncle Fletcher.
You mean you don't like...
Half-wit woman. I know you don't mean anything by it, but it sounds disagreeable, and I should remember to...
Can I get a rope and tie my head on my shoulders?
Yes, Dottie.
The one thing in particular I wanted to wash, I left upstairs in my bedroom.
By George, if I had to listen
All right,
to
Uncle
that...
Fletcher, none of that, please.
I took my white collars and cuffs down cellar and my hankies and my slip, but my stockings I forgot.
Oh, I've had that to happen.
Well, Mr. Rush.
Afternoon, Spotty.
How are you this lovely day?
I'm first rate.
Still telling those funny jokes about East St. Louis?
I never opened my yap about East St. Louis. I told you the other day.
Wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful.
Do you have everything you need down in the basement, Dottie?
It's simply grand down there.
Water hot enough?
The water couldn't be hotter.
Now, what in thunder's funny about that?
I made a rhyme. I'm a poet and I don't know it. The water couldn't be hotter.
Yes.
Well, I'll walk on upstairs and get my stockings. Imagine me forgetting them.
If I can help in any way, lady, you just let out a holler. Now.
I'm getting along grand, Kettle.
All right.
Now, don't tell too many funny jokes about East St. Louis now, Mr. Rush.
Oh, shucks.
Oh, come now. You're not that thin-skinned and peevish.
Half-wit woman gets on my nerves.
I said I didn't like that expression, Uncle Fletcher. I mean it. Please don't forget that Dottie is my guest and my dear friend.
Remember Harry Bubeck there in Sycamore, Sadie?
No, I don't.
Harry Bubeck married a woman 26 years old.
What's unusual about that?
I'll tell you what's unusual about it. Harry Bubeck left Sycamore to move to Detroit, Michigan. In Detroit, Michigan, he changed his name to Tommy Horan and learned to play the piano with his hands tied behind his back. As soon as he accomplished that, he joined the police force and got the reputation for being the worst officer in the city. He was afraid of pickpockets.
Listen, Uncle Fletcher.
Right.
What is it, Dottie?
I tripped on the corner of the rug and almost fell down.
Oh, really?
I might have broke my neck.
What's the matter with Spotty?
She tripped on the corner of the rug and almost fell down.
And she's laughing about it?
Yes.
What's funny? What's funny?
Oh, goodness, Uncle Fletcher, that's just Dottie.
Not a word about when she's leaving.
She'll mention it when she decides.
Is it all settled? Her and her husband are going to come live in this town?
Chuck's letter yesterday sounded pretty definite.
Maybe Spotty plans to stay here with you until her husband gets his business organized.
Oh, see, I don't think so. Oh, no, surely not.
See?
See what?
She gets on your nerve just like she does on mine.
Uncle Fletcher, what did I tell you yesterday?
You almost jump out of your socks every time she rips out that loud laugh of hers.
Well, maybe she almost jumps out of her socks at some little mannerism I got.
Oh, of course, it's none of my business or nothing, but if I had to listen to that woman bellow and snort all day long...
I expect you're right in a way, Uncle Fletcher. Human beings, cooped up together hour after hour, do get themselves under strain. I admit Dottie has got under my skin a time or two since she's been here, and I probably got under hers.
That's what I say.
But she's sweet and good and affectionate. I like her about as well as anybody I know. Be wonderful if her and Chuck come live here in the city. I'll be terrible disappointed if it falls through.
Oh.
Of course, they'll have a place of their own then.
And you won't have to listen to her screech all day.
Uncle Fletcher, I didn't say that.
No, but you meant it.
Oh, Ish.
By George, what if she does decide to stay until they get settled? Might be weeks. Why,
I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Let me tell you about Leland Richards.
Right.
His father, you know, went to Washington, D.C. a month ago and expects to be there permanent. He discovered it wouldn't work out satisfactory to take his family along with him.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday Miss Richards had a telegram from Dexter, Missouri. Her father's a very old man, and he's quite sick, and has to have somebody go take care of him. So Miss Richards took a train for Dexter, Missouri at noon today. Leland, of course, wouldn't be any good at his sick grandfather's, and wouldn't be wise to take him out of school in the middle of the semester anyway. So when I heard about it...
You invited him here.
Exactly. Leland's a nice boy, and we like him, and in a mean, tight situation like this, a person feels like they want to do whatever they possibly can to...
And then I couldn't find my stocking kettle.
Oh, my.
I looked high and low. For a minute there, I thought I'd better call the police.
Oh, where were they?
In the middle dresser drawer.
That may be funny. That may be real funny, but by
I
George...
think I'll wash them out in the kitchen in the sink kettle.
All
Instead
right.
of going back down cellar.
Just however you please, Dottie. Can I help?
No.
Well, just holler if there's anything you need.
I will. How many more funny jokes have you made up about East St. Louis, Mr. Rice? You and your old East St. Louis.
Sadie, I never opened my yap about East St.
Oh,
Louis.
and somebody at the back door, kettle.
It's Leland Richards, Dottie. Will you let him in?
Oh, sure I will.
Uncle Fletcher, won't you stay for supper this evening?
No, thanks, Sadie. I don't believe I will. Much obliged the same.
Oh, wish you would. You'll help cheer up Leland with your stories and all.
I'm afraid I'll blurt out something to Spotty. She gets on my half-wit nerves so bad I want to jump
It's
up.
little boy, kettle.
Yes, come in the living room, Leland. You know the way.
All right, Miss Good.
That's Leland Richards, Dottie, one of Rush's good friends. Do stay, Uncle Fletcher. See, his father's way off there in Washington, and his mother's on her way to Missouri, and he's all
All right,
alone.
I'll speak.
Dandy. He knows you and likes you. Well, Leland, here you are, huh? We've been expecting you.
Hello, Miss Judd.
You got Mama on the train all right, did you?
Yeah, train was 20 minutes late.
Well, I understand a good many trains are late these days.
Yeah.
You know Uncle Fletcher.
Sure. Hello, Uncle Fletcher.
How are you, Leland, old top?
Fine, thank you.
You know, you remind me of a fellow in Belvedere, Illinois that bought a monkey thinking it was a zebra. That's a thing.
I've got a face like a monkey, huh?
Not at all. Here's the story of it. This Belvedere, Illinois fellow was very nearsighted. He had to wear spectacles 3 inches thick.
Oh, devil, I can't work this crazy hydrant that's stuck or something.
All right, I'll be right there. You fellas get along all right for a minute?
Sure.
Leland and myself were old sidekicks from a way back. Remember when we used to rustle cattle in Arizona, Leland?
Yeah.
That is a mean hydrant, Dottie. You have to turn it exactly the right way. I'll show you. I'm liable to flood the house.
My niece, Miss Cook, Leland, tells me you might be around for a while.
A little bit, I guess, until I get settled.
Fine, fine.
I suppose Miss Cook explained the situation?
Yes.
My father's in Washington, D.C. He works for the government. You acquainted with my father?
Just by sight, just by sight.
Boy, has he got muscle.
Yeah?
If he takes a notion, he can carry a railroad tie on each shoulder.
Gosh.
I've never seen anybody stronger than my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Cook tell you about my mother?
She said your grandfather got a little under the weather, and she figured that she better...
Well, I'd just be in the way in Missouri.
Mhm.
My mother and I were thinking of boarding house for a while.
Well, no, I wouldn't be in any hurry about that.
Oh.
My niece was... What's the matter?
My snake is trying to get loose.
Your snake.
He's getting warm. Feels active.
You got a snake in your pocket?
Just a little garter snake. He wouldn't hurt a flea. I've had him
For
since...
God's sakes, keep him under cover. If them 2 women out in the kitchen had any idea there was a snake in the house...
Are you telling Leland your jokes about East St. Louis, Uncle Fletcher?
Not a word about that half-wit snake, Leland. Not one word.
Okay.
You two fellas managing to get along with each other, are you?
Yes, Miss Cook.
Uncle Fletcher says you'll stay and have supper with us.
That's dandy.
I washed out my stockings, Mr. Rice.
Did you, Spotty?
Yes.
Very funny, very funny. Sadie,
Yes, Uncle Fletcher.
you bit yourself off a chunk.
Which concludes another brief interlude at the small house halfway up in the next block.
This program came to you from Chicago and New York. This is the National Broadcasting Company.